Hello everyone, my name is Antonio Van Real. Today I'll be talking to you about why all vehicles should be electric. As a kid, or even now, have you ever imagined flying cars? We are not quite there yet, but the next best thing is becoming increasingly available. All vehicles being electric is on the horizon. In recent years, my curiosity has caused me to do extensive research on why an all-electric vehicle society is the way to go. If governments, manufacturers, and citizens do their part, we will be driving electric vehicles or EVs in no time. Today I will discuss the substantial amount of pollution emitted by fuel-burning vehicles, how electric vehicles are and can be the solution to this problem plaguing many societies around the globe, and I will be touching on how our lives will be better in a society filled with EVs. To begin, there is an overpowering need to make this transition to electric vehicles. The burning of fossil fuels by gas-powered vehicles has a devastating effect on our environment and ecosystem. According to NationalGeographic.com, atmospheric levels of carbon dioxide, the most dangerous and prevalent greenhouse gas, are at the highest levels ever recorded. Solar energy is absorbed by these gases, trapping heat close to the Earth's surface, creating a greenhouse effect. According to NationalGeographic.com, carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas responsible for approximately three-quarters of emissions. These emissions mainly come from the burning of coal, oil, gas, wood, and solid waste. Emissions of this nature can linger in the atmosphere for thousands of years, trapping heat. Climate change has become a major concern. It causes the melting of the polar ice caps, which causes a rise in sea levels. According to greenmatters.com, carbon emissions directly affect humans too, causing more respiratory disease from an increase of smog and air pollution. Over the past decade, the releasing of greenhouse gases has steadily increased, and the average global temperature has steadily increased as a result. According to EPA.gov, China and the U.S. are responsible for almost half of the world's carbon emissions. Since these emissions have such lasting effects, all generations that follow will bear the consequences. According to SaveTheChildren.org, nearly 710 million children are currently living in countries at the highest risk of suffering the impact of the climate crisis. Rising temperatures, pollution, and increasing tumultuous weather leads to life-threatening danger for children, including malnutrition, increasing infectious disease, and issues with respiratory function. More than 160 million children are exposed to extreme droughts, forcing migrations and disruptions in schooling. Moving on, we can attempt to control this global issue. An all-electric vehicle society could drastically cut these harmful emissions damaging our planet. If manufacturers made these vehicles more affordable and governments provided more incentives, we will all be a step closer to an all-electric society. Many governments around the world have plans to ban the sale of gas-powered vehicles in the near future. Manufacturers are increasing innovations designed to cut costs, making electric vehicles affordable for all. According to DukeEnergy.com, not only are electric vehicles cleaner for the planet and environment, but they help save on fuel and maintenance costs. By increasing the number of electric vehicles on the road, there will be a significant reduction in emissions in the atmosphere. According to DukeEnergy.com, EVs have no direct emissions, and they are more than twice as clean as combustion engine vehicles. Many critics of electric vehicles argue that although a vehicle may be electric, the source of electricity production may be produced by fossil fuels. According to umatter.com, if the electricity used to charge cars comes from the burning of fossil fuels, then it does not matter if the electricity generated while driving is polluting the air or not. With all these things considered, imagine an all EV-driven society. Electric vehicles will lead to a healthier planet and healthier life for its inhabitants. The use of renewable energy cuts costs. The respiratory health benefits would be monumental for the world. Some negative drawbacks include the fact that the most technology for electric vehicles are new and costs can be substantial for most people. Driving range for electric vehicles can be limited and charging stations may not be available or can take significant time to charge. In comparing the pros and cons, the health and well-being of all mankind far outweigh any potential cost factors. Also, considering we only have one Earth, it is imperative to preserve our natural resources and move to renewable energy sources for electricity. And finishing up for the day, we must all contact our local politicians and all vehicle manufacturers and let our voices be heard on the issue. Today we discuss why it is imperative that we cut the burning of fossil fuels due to the devastation on our health and atmosphere. We talked about an all-electric vehicle-driven society and how it could drastically reduce those emissions. And I also touched on how electric vehicles would lead to a healthier planet and its inhabitants. We must take our ecosystem and atmosphere seriously because they affect every aspect of our lives in some way. We must be proactive and raise awareness to the problem and solution. If not for ourselves, make the change for our children, our grandchildren, every future generation.